Paladin has been a staple of fantasy for a long time. They are the noble knight who lives by a code of honor, with unwavering loyalty to either the god, their king, or their charge. Today they can be found in a lot of fantasy media, so there is no surprise that we also find them in Final Fantasy XIV. But what does it mean to be a paladin in Final Fantasy XIV? Well, to understand that, we gotta understand where the paladins originally came from, or at least the ones we get our training from, which are the Sultan's Sworn from Ul'dah. So let's start with their history. While there are many knights and servants of kings and leaders around the world, which would really fit the ideal of the paladin we take our power from are the Sultan's Sworn of Ul'dah. To understand their history, we have to go back to the city-state of Paladin in the year 964 during the 6th Astral Era. Paladin was a powerful state led by a sultan who had 2 sons, but in the year 964, the sultan was on his deathbed, and who would become his successor was up for heavy debate. You see, the sons Sasagan and Sasavefu both wanted to become the next sultan, and neither was willing to back down from that claim. So while their father lay on his deathbed, the sons gathered up men loyal to them and threw Paladin into a bitter civil war, to the point that by the year 969, Paladin was no more. Instead, 2 new city-states had emerged, those being Sildí under the rule of Sasavefu and Ul'dah under the rule of Sasagan ul-Sishigan, the first sultan of Ul'dah. As Sasagan became a sultan, he gathered around the knights who swore fealty to him, and handpicked 3 knights to become the first Sultan's Sworn, who would have the role of protecting the sultan with their life. Each of the knights were given a sword carved from a singular ore. The swords were given the name Cortana, Joyce, and Durandal. But along with these 3 sister swords, there was 1 more sword carved from the ore, and this was Oathkeeper, the sword that was given to the first captain of the Sultan's Sworn, and would be passed down from captain to captain through the ages. And those were the first Sultan's Sworn, the first paladins of Ul'dah. But at the time, their fighting style and methods were a little bit different from what we know today. It was over the following 600 years that the Sultan's Sworn would evolve their fighting style and rules into what we know as the modern-day paladin, with each person joining the rank becoming bound to the current sultan or sultana of the city. They have for many years been seen as protectors of the city-state, and are the only ones allowed to stand guard within the innermost sanctum of the chamber of ruling and the private quarters of the sultana. But with time, the power of the crown has faded, and around the start of our journey, when we first take our steps into Ul'dah, the Sultan's Sworn are only a fraction of the previous might. At the time, Ul'dah is locked in a secret power struggle, as officially the city is ruled by the sultana, but behind the scenes it is actually ruled by the syndicate, which is composed of the most powerful and wealthy people of the city, along with the sultana herself. And the syndicate is split into 2 factions, the royalists who follow the sultana, and the monetarists who want to rule without the meddling of the crown. And in the recent years, the power of the crown had greatly diminished. And at the start of our story, the majority of the syndicate are monetarists, and the Sultan's Sworn have drastically diminished in numbers, leading to Genlin, which is their current captain, to seek out any worthy adventurer to join the rank to keep the order alive. But you might notice we are not bound to the Sultanate. We are actually what is known as a free paladin. We have not taken the oath to the sultana, and we are not bound to remain in Ul'dah and serve her. No, a free paladin is actually a rather rare type of paladin that just recently started appearing. They follow their own code of conduct, and while they use the same fighting style as the Sultan's Sworn, they get to choose their own path and code to live by, allowing you to actually define the code your paladin follows. So be it dedication to the people of our star, a loyalty to a god of your choice, loyalty to the sultana, or just wanting to gain a boatload of gil. The code is kinda up to you to determine. Now in-game, the paladin can be seen wearing heavy armor, usually something resembling traditional knight armor, often made in shining silver, whites, golds, and with a supporting color of blue or red. They are the only class that uses a shield in-game, at least when we reach the endgame, because the casters actually do have a shield and wand combo during the very earliest levels, but that is quickly done away with. And pretty much as you reach level 20, you will be the only one sporting a shield in the game. And gosh, there are some really pretty shields in the game, so if you are a shield person, the Paladin is definitely for you. Along with the shield, they have a one-handed sword, and they take on the role of a tank in any group content, meaning you are the person who stands in the front, threatens the boss, and makes sure they hit you and not your friends. And the Paladin really fits the idea of a tank, as the idea of the Paladin is the protector, the one who stands in front and shields others from the damage of the monsters we are fighting. They are truly what most would think about when they think of a tank. But that takes us back to the original question. What does it mean to be a Paladin in Final Fantasy XIV? Well, it means you are the guardian of your friends. You have taken on the role to help others. And while you're not bound to the Sultana, you are bound to a code of conduct you have made for yourself. And based on the story of Final Fantasy XIV and the actions you take through it, the Paladin is a really fitting job for the Warrior of Light. It does though come with one con, and that is you will probably get the worst job quests in the game, but you will also get the prettiest shield, amazing looking armor, and a relatively short queue in any content. So, what does it mean to be a Paladin? Well, it really depends on you, which code you follow. But tell me, did anything about the Paladin origin surprise you? And if you want to learn more about the Paladin job stories, I do have videos about that on my channel. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you want to be absolutely amazing, do all the good YouTube stuff. It really helps with the algorithm, and it helps my videos get noticed. I try to release new lore content every Saturday, so if there's anything specific you would like to learn about, tell me about it in the comments. And then go check out some of my other videos. There is definitely something you're gonna enjoy there. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.